Magnitude of the resultant vector. Magnitude of the resultant vector. According to the triangular law of vector addition, ABC is a triangle A, B and C. Let AB shows a P vector and CD Q vector, and AC in opposite direction shows the resultant vector R vector. To find out the resultant magnitude of the resultant vector, we extend AB arm and drawn a perpendicular from the C point on the AB. Let this point is D point. Angle between resultant vector and AB vector is alpha, and Q vector and AB vector is theta. हम Q वेक्टर के दो कंपोनेंट फाइंड करते हैं. तो एक कंपोनेंट आपका जो बेस लाइन पे BD इक्वल टू होगा Q cos theta, and vertical component will be Q sin theta. एक्चुअली जो हमारे P वेक्टर और Q वेक्टर दो आर्म्स को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं इन एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन, एंड R इज द रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू वेक्टर लॉ ऑफ ट्रायंगुलर लॉ ऑफ वेक्टर एडिशन, P वेक्टर प्लस Q वेक्टर will be equal to R vector. ये तो हम पहले पढ़ चुके हैं कि वेक्टर एडिशन तो सीधा हो जाता है, बट we have to find the magnitude of R vector. उसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं, हमने इसको एक्सटेंड करके BD AB आर्म को एक्सटेंड करके D पॉइंट तक ले गए और C से उसके ऊपर परपेंडिकुलर डाला. तो हम देखते हैं कि दिस इज द राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल, एंड इन राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल अकॉर्डिंग टू पाइथागोरस थ्योरम द AC स्क्वायर विल बी इक्वल टू AD स्क्वायर प्लस CD स्क्वायर. यहाँ पर हम ये D का स्क्वायर नहीं है, CD का आर्म है. यहाँ पे अपन ब्रैकेट भी लगा सकते हैं, ऐसे ओपनली भी लिख सकते हैं. हियर AC स्क्वायर मीन्स AC स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू AD मीन्स AB प्लस BD होल स्क्वायर प्लस CD स्क्वायर. We know that AC square equal to R square. Here AB square plus BD square plus 2 into AB into BD plus CD square, or R square is equal to AB square means magnitude of square of the magnitude of AB, that is P. हम यहाँ पर लिख सकते हैं कि P वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड हम P बोल दें, Q वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड को हम बोल दें Q, और R वेक्टर के मैग्नीट्यूड को हम बोल देंगे R, एंड गिवन BD is equal to Q cos theta, and CD is equal to Q sin theta. तो ये वैल्यूज हम यहाँ पे पुट करेंगे. AB स्क्वायर इट मीन्स P स्क्वायर प्लस BD स्क्वायर मीन्स Q स्क्वायर cos स्क्वायर थीटा प्लस 2 AB मीन्स P and 2 q cos theta plus cd square means q square sin square theta. यहाँ पर हम इसमें इन दोनों को एक साथ ले लेंगे, दोनों में से q स्क्वायर हम कॉमन ले सकते हैं, तो we can write r square is equal to p square plus q square to cos square theta plus sin square theta plus 2pq cos. We know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So r square will be equal to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, and magnitude of the resultant vector r will be equal to the square root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. This will be the magnitude of the resultant vector. Now angle maps the resultant vector with p vector. एंगल हम कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? ट्रायंगल ए सी डी से हम देखें तो tan अल्फा, angle between resultant vector and AB vector, as per the figure we can write tan alpha is equal to CD upon AD, or tan alpha is equal to CD means Q sin theta upon AD means AB plus BD, or tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta upon AB is P plus Q cos, or we can say the angle made by the resultant vector with the P vector will be alpha is equal to tan inverse Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos. ये दोनों फॉर्मूले हम यूज करते हैं 1b एंड इसको हम डाल दें b डैश। इसमें फिर हम कंडीशंस लेते हैं कि डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कंडीशन पर अल्फा और आर की वैल्यूज हम कैसे फाइंड आउट करें। कंडीशंस, फर्स्ट कंडीशन इज if theta is equal to 0 degree, it means p vector is in the direction of q vector. The p vector is this, this is p vector, this is the direction of p vector, and this will be the direction of q vector. The both are in same direction, there is no angle between them, both are in same direction, it means theta will be equal to 0. And we know that in this case sin 0 is equal to 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. According to formula A, magnitude of the resultant vector R will be equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos 0 will be equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos plus 2PQ only. p square plus q square plus 2pq, or r will be equal to p square plus q square का whole square, that is equal to, sorry, root of p plus q whole square, which gives p plus q only. Resultant magnitude of the resultant vector will be r is equal to p plus q. जब दोनों के बीच में एंगल 0 हो तो वेक्टर एडिशन सीधे ही हो जाता है, उनके जो मैग्नीट्यूड है वो एज सच एड हो जाते हैं, r is equal to p plus q. एंड हम इनको देखकर कह सकते हैं कि इन दोनों का रिजल्टेंट भी किधर आना चाहिए, तो रिजल्टेंट भी एक्चुअली इसी की डायरेक्शन में आना चाहिए. हम यहाँ पर बना भी सकते हैं कि P और Q जब सेम डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हैं तो इन दोनों को जब हम सीधा ऐड करेंगे तो रिजल्टेंट भी उसी डायरेक्शन में होगा और इक्वल टू P प्लस Q होगा. ये रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर हमको यहाँ पे फाइंड आउट हो जाएगा. रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर यानी मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द resultant vector, not resultant vector, it is the magnitude of the resultant vector. And angle between p and r vector, p vector and r vector क्या होगा, हम देखें कि tan alpha is equal to q sin theta upon p plus q cos theta equal to sin 0 is 0 upon p plus q, that is 0. और tan alpha is 0, tan alpha is 0 implies alpha is also 0. It shows that r and p both are in same direction. It shows that r vector and p vector remain in same direction. Resultant of the two vectors find out किया था, and formula of magnitude of the resultant vector is r equal to root p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, and the angle max by the resultant vector with p vector will be tan alpha is equal to q sin theta upon p plus q cos theta हमने निकाले थे. And first condition was if the p vector is parallel to q vector, it means both the vectors are in same line or in same direction, then the resultant vector will be the direct sum of magnitude of p and magnitude of q. It means r will be equal to p plus q, and the angle by the resultant vector with p vector will be 0. It means the resultant vector is also in the direction of p and q, because p and q are in same direction. And second condition will be theta is equal to 90 degree. It means p vector is perpendicular to q vector. P vector is this and q vector is maybe in this direction. In this case, the magnitude of resultant vector will be p square plus q square plus 2pq cos 90, and we know that cos 90 is 0, so r will be equal to p square plus q square. And tan alpha means resultant max by the magnitude with p vector. Tan alpha will be equal to q sin 90 degree upon p plus q cos 90. We know that sin 90 is 1, sin 90 degree equal to 1 and cos 90 equal to 0, so that tan alpha will be q upon p, or alpha will be equal to tan inverse. Tan alpha is the angle max by the resultant vector with p vector, and it will be tan inverse q upon p. In third case, theta is equal to 180. It means p vector is opposite to the q vector. P vector will be in this direction and q may be in opposite direction. The resultant vector will be equal to p square plus q square plus 2pq cos 180, and we know that cos 180 is equal to minus 1. So here r will be equal to p square plus q square plus 2pq minus 1, or r will be equal to p square plus q square minus 2pq and root p minus q whole square, which is equal to p minus q. So resultant vector will be p minus q. In this case, if p is greater than q, it means magnitude of p is greater than the magnitude of q, then the r will be in the direction of p. Same as if q is greater than p, then r will be इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ, इट मीन्स कि आर की जो डायरेक्शन है वो पी की डायरेक्शन में भी हमको मिल सकती है और क्यू की डायरेक्शन में भी मिल सकती है, विच इज ग्रेटर बिटवीन दीज टू. इफ पी इज ग्रेटर देन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ आर, द डायरेक्शन ऑफ रिजल्टेंट vector will be in the direction of p, and if q is greater then the direction of resultant vector will be in the direction of q. It means that tan alpha, here alpha is the angle between the resultant vector and the direction of p vector. So tan alpha is q sin theta upon p plus q cos theta. We know that sin 180 is 0 upon P minus Q, cos 180 is minus 1, that is equal to either 0, or it implies alpha is equal to tan inverse 0. So alpha will be equal to either 0 or pi. If P is greater, then alpha will be equal to 0. It means R will be in the direction of P. And if Q is greater, then alpha will be equal to pi, because R is in the direction of Q and it is opposite to P, because here alpha is the angle between R and P and Q is opposite to P. So R will be in the direction of Q, which is opposite to P. So in this case, alpha have two values, one is 0 and another is pi. इसके दो वैल्यूज होंगे कि यदि P बड़ा है तो R P के डायरेक्शन में होगा, तो P और R के बीच का एंगल 0 होगा, और यदि Q बड़ा है तो R Q के डायरेक्शन में होगा और Q का डायरेक्शन P से अपोजिट है, and here alpha is the angle between P and R only, and here the direction of P and R, because R is in the direction of Q which is opposite to P, so R is also opposite to the P, direction of P. So angle between R and P will be opposite. Opposite means 180 degree. So alpha will be equal to pi. Now question on this type of problem, question number 1. The resultant of the two equal vectors, the magnitude of the resultant of two equal vectors is equal in magnitude of the magnitude of one of them. Find the angle between two given vectors. Here condition is P vector, magnitude of P vector is given by A, magnitude of Q vector is given by again A, and magnitude of resultant vector is also A. So in the formula R will be equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So here A will be equal to A square plus 2A into A cos theta, and A will be equal to 2A square plus 2A square cos theta root, and A square will be equal to, दोनों तरफ स्क्वायर कर देंगे तो रूट हट जाएगा, 2A square plus 2A square cos theta, it gives 2A square cos theta is equal to minus A square, और cos theta will be equal to minus 1 by 2, which gives theta will be equal to 120 degree. Okay, cos theta is minus half, then theta will be 120 degree. So we can say the angle between p vector and q vector, which are equal in magnitude, will be 120 degree. Now come to the properties of vector addition. Properties of vector addition. First property is vector addition is associative. Addition of two vectors associative. It means the p vector plus q vector will be equal to q vector plus p vector. Sorry, associative law is a p vector plus q vector plus r vector will be equal to p vector plus q vector plus r vector. p प्लस q को हम ऐड करके जब r में सम करते हैं, प्लस करते हैं उसका, तो p प्लस q प्लस r विल बी इक्वल टू p प्लस q प्लस r. एंड फॉर एग्जाम्पल इसको हम प्रूव कर सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ लॉ ऑफ पॉलीगॉन. This is p vector, this is p vector, this is q vector, and this is r vector. P vector, q vector, and it is r vector. Now sum of p plus q is this. This is p plus q, and here p plus q plus r will be equal to m vector in opposite direction. P plus Q plus R is m, which is in opposite direction. This is first. Now we take first Q plus R, and Q plus R will be this. And this will be जो white line वाला वेक्टर है हमारा वो होगा P Q plus R, that is Q plus R, and as per diagram P plus Q plus R will be again equal to m vector. According to triangular law of triangle, it will be equal to the m vector. So we can say and P plus Q plus R will be equal to the P vector plus Q plus R, that will be equal to m. Both are one and the same thing. So we can say the vector addition is associative in nature, and second property is vector addition is commutative. Vector addition is commutative in nature. Commutative means in vector addition P vector plus Q vector always equal to the Q vector plus P vector. It can be proved by the law of parallelogram. For example, two vectors, one is P vector and Q vector. In any parallelogram, the parallel arms shows the equivalent vector. AB and DC are parallel to each other. So we can say the AB vector is equal to DC vector will be equal to P vector, and AD vector equal to BC vector is equal to the Q vector. According to triangular law of vector addition, P plus Q will be equal to R vector, and according to this is according to the law of triangular law of vector addition, and from triangle ABC, it is reference point is, it is from triangle ABC, and from triangle ADC Q vector plus P vector will be equal to again R vector. From first and second, we can say the P vector plus Q vector will be equal to Q vector plus P vector equal to the R vector. So vector addition is commutative, बिकॉज कि यदि हम उसका क्रम चेंज कर दें, P प्लस Q की जगह हम Q प्लस P कर दें, तो उसके रिजल्टेंट में कोई चेंज नहीं होता. So we can say the addition of two vectors or more vectors, two vectors is commutative. Multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Third property is multiplication of a vector by a the multiplication of a vector by any scalar vector is defined as, हम देखते हैं यहाँ पर कि जैसे कोई भी वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है, हमने ले लिया कि p वेक्टर is multiplied by any scalar quantity m, then the total quantity will be q is equal to mp vector. Q vector will be equal to mp vector. Here q will be equal to the m times of p, and the resultant vector will be in the direction of q, or we can say it remains in the direction of p. So p vector is, if we multiply any vector by a scalar quantity, then this quantity will be the scalar टाइम्स. जैसे हम बोले कि m से हमने मल्टीप्लाई किया तो p वेक्टर जो है m टाइम्स हो जाएगा. p को m से हमने मल्टीप्लाई किया तो p वेक्टर का जो मैग्नीट्यूड है वो m टाइम्स हो जाएगा. तो बट द डायरेक्शन रिमेन्स द सेम, देयर इज नो चेंज इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ p वेक्टर. सो डायरेक्शन रिमेन्स द सेम, केवल इसकी जो क्वांटिटी है, जो प्रोडक्ट है, उसकी वैल्यू इंक्रीज हो जाती है एंड डायरेक्शन रिमेन्स द सेम. नाउ come to the subtraction of vector, new topic. का थोड़ा राशि हाँ ऑफिशियल में बोलो। हाँ जी, बैठे हैं वहीं पे। मैं आ रहा हूँ। मैं थोड़ी देर में कर दूँ।